Good evening and welcome to Volume 6 of Teatime Technicals. Today's Monday the 10th of September, and as we're approaching 5 o'clock, it's time to see what the market's been doing all day. I haven't really had a chance or a impulse to check the markets at the moment. But first things first, I come across this today, which was it's called the Monster Guide to Candlestick Patterns, and that is by Rainer T. It was on Twitter, and yeah, it's just a really good thing to bookmark. Just, you know, never a bad thing to look at these, refresh your memory on different patterns, bullish patterns, bearish patterns, just things to look in and take into consideration. And certainly, as I'm now trying to focus on more confirmation on the trades that I'm going to be taking, this was a good little read just to sort of maybe spot these in and around the EMAs that I'll be looking at. So it's on my Twitter, latest post, if you want to check that out. I did a very short weekend review. I think it's had 2 views, but you know, that's not it's not there to get hundreds of views, just there for my own accountability. So we are starting fresh, so we'll look at a few pairs. Well, the few pairs are the Euro Oz, Euro USD, Pound USD, Aussie CAD and Pound Yen, and we will see which one of these 5 is presenting the best opportunity. We'll look at some confluences and see what's been going on. So very bullish still on Euro Oz, and that's my sort of view for the pair. It was a very bullish out for this week based on last week and what's been going on. Now, straight away, we're seeing, again, it's really strange actually. You look at these candlestick patterns and there's also a sort of continuation pattern there. So on the 4 hour, we're pushing away from the 8 EMA. So this is almost like the anchor chart for the 1 hour strategy. If I was using the 5-minute chart, the 1 hour would be the anchor point. So let's just drop down to the 1 hour and we're going to see what potential there is. So at the moment we are breaking these highs, which is good. We'll see what happens with the pullback to the 8 EMA, but ultimately the Euro Oz is really breaking up higher. So we'll just have a quick look at the 15-minute just to see what is going on down here. You know, again, it becomes a bit more apparent. We're still pushing up, pulling back, pushing up, pulling back. So on the 15-minute, there could be a setup forming, but I'm looking for the setup on the 1 hour. So it's almost as if there isn't a setup right at this very moment. So it's difficult to say. I'm looking for the hour chart. On the 15, it does appear that there is a continuation pattern forming, and certainly the trend continuation would be above these highs. So we'll see what happens on the Euro Oz. Now, Euro USD, I had a bearish outlook for the week. Now, what's happened today? We've pulled back up into this structure here. So let's drop down to the 4 hour, see what we can see. Now, you know, we have still been creating these lower highs. We didn't break this structure here. So we've had this lower structure. We've pushed down. Initially this morning, there was obviously a bit of a drop. We've tested, we still haven't had a close below these lows here, and prices pushed up. So that could be a pullback. And at the moment, we're in and around the 200 EMA. So we're back up into structure. And as you can see, price has been pushing and nothing is really presenting itself at the moment. So price is sort of consolidating at the moment. So there's nothing initially that is standing out, but again, we have got almost sort of a head and shoulders type pattern forming. But on the 1 hour chart, there's nothing that I would look to be trading at this moment. So for the time being, we'll let the Euro USD do what it's doing, but I don't think there's going to be any bearish setups presenting themselves. Pound USD, similar sort of thing. We've pushed back up into structure, retesting highs on the daily. again, I've got a bearish outlook on the pound USD, and that's what I'm looking for, is bearish setups. Again, right at the top here, right at structure on the 4 hour. So I'm sure many people may have been looking at this, but again, there's not really a lot that is. I mean, we could be forming a double top here. We're right at structure, so it's a good sign that we could see some downside, but at the moment, as it stands, there isn't anything on here that's given me an opportunity to look at, certainly until tomorrow. I don't think. I want to see a break and then fall back before I look at any shorts. So again, we can remove the pound USD from tonight's analysis. Aussie CAD, bearish outlook. We've pushed back up into structure on the daily. Let's have a look at the 4 hour and see if anything is happening down here. 4 hour, we're rejecting the EMA. So that's a good sign. Back up into structure, a bit more prominent here. Pull back up, rejected. So on the 1 hour, is there anything that is really, okay, anything that's giving us a potential setup? So we're seeing price, you know, again, you can see it a bit more apparent on the here. We've come back in structure and then price has dropped. So we've broken that sort of small trend line on the hour. So if you're looking for confluence, you've got this trend line. So we'll be looking at the wicks. Let's just go. I don't know if doing the line chart, you know, you can sort of see on the line chart a bit more clearly this trend line. It becomes a bit more clearer. And we've broken down, so potential for a setup there. Let's drop down to the 15 just to see what is going on. It could be a narrower trade setup. It's pushed up. So again, I think although I'm looking for the hour, I do feel that the 15-minute chart may be presenting the better entries overall. So we'll see what happens there. So pound yen. Again, I wasn't really sure what was happening with pound yen, pound USD, and pound yen, just because the starting pair is the pound. Do have some similar moves, but obviously there's a lot more volatility in the pound yen. So we've pulled back up right into structure. Tested highs, been pushing down. 4 hour chart, what have we got? Again, there's not really enough information. I mean, we could be having certainly a bat or a cipher, you know, trend continuation. I say trend continuation, it's more of a consolidation pattern forming. Let's look at the hour, see what is going on here. And again, it's just very much, we've got this sort of range forming at the moment. So, you know, do I want to try and jump on a sell here for the sake of it could spike up? No, I need more confirmation. So again, for that reason, as Duncan Ballantyne would say, I'm out. We'll leave that one. So that leaves us with Aussie dollar and the Aussie CAD. Euro Aussie CAD, getting round the wrong way. So on the hour, if we just jump to the 30-minute, what is going on here? So on the 30-minute, I mean, that we've just crossed on the 30-minute. I mean, I don't really know what's going on here on the 30-minute, but certainly that looks, I've got more confidence, I've got to be honest, on the Euro Oz breaking up than I do the, but then we've had a break here. See, this is the dilemma now. I've got to remind myself I'm looking for a good setup. Now, on the hour, what have we got presenting? So, very, very bearish. We could see some pullback first. So 5 o'clock, here we go. 5 o'clock, wait for a pullback, then go. That pulls back into structure. Wait for a pullback. I mean, it's a similar sort of story with these two pairs. I don't think at the moment that there is anything that, if I'm looking at the hour chart, there isn't anything that was presenting itself. We jump down to the 15-minute chart though, and there are opportunities. I mean, more so on the Euro Oz, to be honest. Just looking at some price ranges that we've got here. So at the moment, the top, we're looking at 63.06, so 3 pips higher, 63.09. Let's just do a quick little 63.09. This, so for the lows we are looking at 62.89. 62.89, which gives us our definitive range. So let's just have a look what we're looking at here. So the price range 89 to 09, so we're looking at 20 pips. So 20 pips, it's looking good, and I just think that looking at the way the price has been moving, we are sort of seeing more continuation. So for this evening, I think, because again price is ranging more on the Aussie CAD, going down 15-minute. I think that would have been the setup there, so I think there'd be more of a pullback needed on the hour chart. Again, I'm just looking for one trade. This is the problem that I've always had, is you're seeing opportunities left, right and centre, which one's providing it. So we've broken the trend line here. I'd want to see a pullback first before I entered. On the Euro Oz, it's just giving all the bullish signs, you know, look at that. Price push down, rejected, so I think we're going to go with the Euro Oz as the trade of the evening. So what we will do, I will just get in place and set the order. Let's get rid of you. I'll pause the video and we will get on and set the order. So orders have been placed. So the risk we're looking at is 20 pips, 2 to 1 on trade 1, and then 40 pips on trade 2. So I've put that idea up on TradeView. Now I did have an idea for a long. I did have some orders that I cancelled before the market closed on Friday, simply because I was just looking at, you know, trying to enter a trade. I didn't really know what where the price went, but as you can see, at that point, the trade idea, obviously the price just, you know, it fell away from where it was, but at the moment it sort of rebounded. So that idea's up. Aussie CAD, as said, it looks like we may have a better setup on the 1 hour chart. So I've dropped down on the, on the 15-minute for the Euro Oz, just because of how the structure was looking on the 1 hour chart, and it's hard to ignore momentum like this when, you know, there is a potential trade that could be had. We're looking for just one good trade, so I'm happy with what's going on, and we're looking like this could be filled for a change on the video. So, well, the orders have been filled, so we can see we are now live. Obviously the spread has entered, so that's the trade. We will come back to this trade and we'll see what happens. Obviously what you don't see on TradingView is the spread as it's moving up, but if we go here to the charts, let's go to Euro Oz. Oh no, I just want the chart. Thank you. Charts. New chart, there we go. Euro Oz. Let's just get this down to the 15. I mean, again, it's difficult to see here on the MetaTrader 4. But let's have a look. So we just zoomed in on the 15-minute. There we go. So as you can see, the spread is, you know, right at where the price is. But for now, I will leave this video where it is. We will come back and check what happens with this trade, and also just what happens. As you can see, there's a potential that we could have a setup here. So who knows? We will wait and see what happens. It's now coming up to 7 o'clock, and price is just sort of ranged, to be fair. So I'll leave this here. We'll pick up tomorrow evening, and we'll see if either the trade hits target 1 and target 2, or if I get stopped.